So Parimarjan, congrats after a very long time. So do you think the it's like coming back from a nightmare, the part that the past week has been?
Um, yeah, more or less, but it's still not finished. So I hope the nightmare won't start again.
So how do you, if you had to describe this game, as compared to the others in the past week, how would you say? Was it refreshing, rejuvenating, or in the sense a bit of unlearning from the past and then trying to start afresh?
Well, I mean, I think I had almost forgotten how to win. So I mean, this game I was really trying to make it as forced as I can. So I mean, I just avoided any kind of technical advantage. I just went for the forced way, and okay, I mean, I found the idea luckily. So.
Can you just give a brief synopsis of the game?
So okay, it was he surprised me with the opening, but he also didn't know it that well. Perhaps I played the novelty, and he went wrong immediately with Bishop E7, and then I had to find a forced series of moves, which I think were fairly accurate, and then he didn't really have a chance.
Now, in the past week, I mean, there's just one question, not more than this. In the past week, do you think there's been a pressure of playing at home and also a lot of expectations, plus added to the fact that you've had a few tournaments before that, the exams, and then a lot of training? It's been all packed, too many things in too short a time.
Well, I mean, okay, there are I think a lot of small reasons that I can't point out. Like this was the reason why I played bad. Among the other most important reason I think was just I wasn't able to convert my chances. I was having really good chances in most of the games. So I mean, okay, of course it might be different things, pressure and all that, but I think well there was no one particular thing which was causing it.
Over Victor. So, can you just give a brief synopsis of the game before we get on to the other things?
I cannot say it's a good win. I mean, it was very risky play from me. I mean, okay, I mean, you're not really, moving pawns before your king, yeah, but somehow my bishop on c5 was almost getting trapped, so that it was very difficult to play normally at this moment. So I started with g5, and after bishop e5 and some d4 and f3, I'm already forced to give the exchange. But I believe he could have delayed taking knight takes e5. Somehow this knight on d3 was very strong blockading piece. I mean, stopping all my bishops and stuff. But then he took the bishop immediately, which I think is a slight mistake. And after rook e5, maybe here's too, he need not play king h1 because he has trouble even on the light squares. Perhaps he should play queen d2 or something maybe. But after king h1, bishop e4, I think I have full compensation for the exchange. And after this, I mean, his king is very weak on both diagonals, light squares, and as well as my bishop is on c5. And I have a nice square on e3 as well. And then my knight has to come into play, and then probably it's very good chances for me to win. But in between, he blundered with rook f6, which won me a piece, perhaps. Yeah, I mean, on the diagonal, yeah.
So, do you think the change in weather has had something to do with the change in fortunes for you?
Well, I always like to play in colder weather. So generally, whenever the weather is colder, so I don't know whether it relates to my chess, but maybe it really, not exactly completely cold like Hantimans's, but reasonably in between, for instance, say. And it helps, yeah, because you're not really getting tired quickly. Well, I guess I simply realized that if I come into big time trouble, I stand no chance. So I just try to avoid the whole time trouble phase, actually. I mean, I'm trying to play much faster here now.
Another good win, and you're pretty close to the title.
Yeah, it's pretty close. I mean, 1.5 point lead with 2 rounds to go. But you never know until the end. Anything can happen. So try to keep my lead, of course.
Can you quickly go through your game in the 8th round?
Yeah, the opening didn't go so great. I didn't really like my position. I'm not sure where I went wrong exactly. But it seemed very comfortable for her. And I think at some point in the beginning, for instance, after knight g3, she could have played h5 and next h4. And it's kind of, she's gaining space on the king side. I don't really like my position. But I think she played a bit too simply, just... she played positionally with putting her knight on c5 and everything, but it's really not easy for her to make any headway on the queen side. And I started with f4. Already at that point, I think I had a good position. Finally we got this rook ending, which was very sharp. And I wasn't sure if I played the best way or maybe she had a draw at some point. there was an alternative for me. Instead of king h2 to play rook e5, rook e5 and b7. And I sacrificed a rook, but my b pawn is unstoppable. But I couldn't calculate it with so little time. And I saw one variation which I wasn't so sure if it's winning. But what I did seems to win the game. I'm just going to continue playing. It's hard to be careful or not careful. You can't really control these things. But I'll try my best.